you let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
It's a Tuesday night. It's a Tuesday night in October. There's not very many left of those. And I welcome you here at 7:01 p.m. on the East Coast. Getting right to it, because tonight's one of those nights where I'm just going to be honest with myself. There's no reason to delay the show. There's no reason for appetizers when the whole damn thing is going to be boom. It's going to be good. And you just get right into it. And Jay Gulinello is here. And if there's anybody, any guest that I've ever had on the show who, every time he's on, when we leave the studio, I say, why the hell did I do a pre-show and put off the opening theme for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You know,
like a formality at that point.
Yeah. And then I start feeling like, well, you got to play it.
Yeah, you do.
To hell with it.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's a Tuesday night in late October. And I'm happy to have you here, Jay. We got pretty much a blank canvas, but so many things to paint with. It's going to be good.
It's my favorite kind of night.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect.
And we'll have like a semi-third hour after the end credits roll on the Flipside.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some fun stuff to do with you over there, too. And, so I hope everybody at home is enjoying themselves. You can call in tonight, 914-200-0269. We got plenty of things to throw your way. Oh, right off the bat, I got two things, and we'll remind you around the halfway point, because I'm sure we'll also skip an intermission, because can't waste time with that shit either on nights like tonight.
I apologize for everybody who loves whatever the intermission is in the month of October.
I want the intermission. Stop talking. Just stop talking for 90 seconds. So first of all, Tony Arterburn at quitefrankly.gold wanted to let everybody know that he's going to continue on with that promotion that he set up for last night. That when you go to quitefrankly.gold and use the promo code Frankly on any purchase of gold, silver, Bitcoin, whatever the hell it is, he's got a little bit of everything over there. Whether it's a one-time buy or whether you become a new monthly Wolfpack member, Tony is sending you bonus silver. So that's it. Use promo code Frankly and get yourself an ounce of silver, which kind of went down in price a little bit again. So buy the dip. Remember, it's an eternal asset. It's thousands of years old. This the value here.
Yeah.
But also for tonight, we do have a giveaway for the raffle, the super chat raffle, and that comes by way of Jay in the Health Reclamation Project. Jay, what are you giving away tonight?
Yeah, this is really fun. You know, Jen had this idea a few weeks ago, and I said, "This is great. I run this by Frank. We want to just give away a free month's membership." And so what that would entail would be basically access to all of the weekly lives, all of the educational material that's up there currently, and then it just gives you a chance to kind of dip your toes in the water and see if it's something that you want to continue. And there is still, for everybody else who doesn't win, there is still the code for this audience, Fall45, which gives you access to the program at a discount. And, you know, again, the beautiful thing about what we do is education. You get discounts on a lot of things, peptides, clinical consults, one-on-one consults, education, everything. But there's no contract or anything. It's not like a cell phone or anything where you got to be in it for 2 years. You come in and you check it out, and if it's worth it for you, to get some answers, to have some more questions about your health, you can come on in. You can leave anytime, but we want to give it away. We want to give somebody a chance to come in for a whole month, hang out with us, learn, and then see if they want to continue. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay, so that's what's on the line tonight. You send in a super chat. Quite frankly, superchat.com, the YouTube, the Rumble, the Twitch, and pilled.net with the gold pills. I'm putting those into the name picker and the nosepicker.net, and we're going to pick one of you guys out, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so what the hell happened since the last time you were on?
It wasn't that long ago, but I feel like a lot has happened.
Last time you were on, were we talking? No, that wasn't. We
the
weren't.
Very beginning of October, I think, right?
It wasn't the scoliosis show, was it?
Oh no, I think that might have been 2 times ago.
Okay.
Shit,
that was a month ago.
I know. The fact that you just said there's only like a week and a half left in October.
That means that the Jamboree was almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So sad.
It is.
I can't even think about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I love Halloween, but don't rush it, please.
So you are a resident of New York City, but are you voting in this upcoming election?
I mean, I'll be voting, but not in New York. I changed all my stuff to Massachusetts because remember, I'm kind of like on my way out. I was hoping to be on my way out before, but it's all been slowed down. So the process.
Man. So Curtis Sliwa lost out on one more vote.
On one vote, yeah. Unfortunately, this is crazy though, right? Like the fact that that the great hope for New York City is a Cuomo. I mean, it's just so. Doesn't it highlight just like the paucity of quality candidates? I mean, really, you got to choose between Mamdani and Cuomo, and I don't know Sliwa very well, so I shouldn't. He might be a perfectly qualified guy. I don't know anything about him, but I know Cuomo. And I know Mamdani.
I don't know I don't know a lot of people's hang-ups with Sliwa. I know that there are.
Yeah.
But
anything is better than either of those two.
Yeah, I don't know. I just then again, I've never I don't have a vote. I don't. I'm outside the city, and I don't. I'm just an observer. I'm right outside the glass, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it doesn't affect you, right? Yeah, I mean,
Subway.
Yeah, I just think it's pathetic that Cuomo thinks he can come back after everything he did and won. I mean, the lives he destroyed, right? Democrat, Republican doesn't really matter. But to be so bold as to think you could win over the Democrat voters again, but then to even be bolder and think the Republicans are just going to roll up and say, oh, well, Cuomo. I mean, I think this is the whole thing about the ivory towers. They're so detached from reality and what we all think about them, that they think they can just roll in and say, yeah, I mean, hey, remember me? I wrote the book on Mission Accomplished or something like that. He had like a George W. Bush moment. Remember he wrote a book about the pandemic while we were still kind of in the middle of it, talking about how great he was. I mean, tone deaf to the max. It's unbelievable.
I know.
I never trust a Cuomo.
No, I mean, and that's the whole thing here. You have Cuomo, who is responsible for the loss of so many elderly people in New York, and we're talking about tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And it's even worse than just a bad mistake. It was a political decision, and then we got the evidence of the cover up too.
Oh yeah,
we had all the emails and everything. It wasn't even just the loss of life; it was the killing of small business. He was one of those governors that went and made sure that certain supplements were banned and all that other stuff.
He's a disgusting creature,
dude,
and I just think it's hysterical that the hope of New York City rides on him. I mean, no offense, but I'm not sure it's either way. I think New York loses either way with either of those two anyway.
Well, I know. Well, and the thing that kills me is that right now, Andrew Cuomo is still so ballsy enough as to go into public and say, Curtis, you should drop out.
I know. This is what I'm saying. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? And this is why, Frank, I don't know anything that Chris Cuomo has said about this race. So full transparency, I have no idea. I really try to avoid everything Chris Cuomo says, to be perfectly honest. I think he's a useless person too. But I mean, I just think like this, Chris Cuomo wanted to be known as like, he fixed his image and he learned from all his mistakes. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity. I mean, I don't know. I know he's your brother, so I'm not saying you got to come out, knives out against him, but like, how about a little bit of actual journalism? No, I haven't heard anything, but I just think it's very interesting, right? Like This is why I don't trust anything Chris Cuomo has to say from before, because he never really learned his lesson. And from some of the things I've seen more recently, he still hasn't learned his lesson. So I just want to throw it out there. Both Cuomo brothers, no thanks. No thanks.
If I were Curtis Lewa, I would have made sure that this video went around again right before the election. And let's go to a classic, a timeless classic that I can't get enough of, and I have not seen in what feels like years at this point. Here we go.
That Cuomo nigga said we couldn't be outside last year. Where we at? Outside! What is your message to Cuomo right now?
Rot in hell, you son of a bitch!
Cuomo, you put pineapple on your pizza and you get no pussy!
You're next, de Blasio. You're fucking next. You're next. We on your ass, boy. We on your ass, boy.
If she say no, you gotta go!
The Italians don't claim that kid Cuomo. We don't fuck with him. We don't fuck with that kid Cuomo. Get the fuck out of here.
We got Trump in the fucking silky on Union Square.
Cuomo, don't you get away with this shit? When I see you, I'm gonna grab you by your fucking neck.
We replacing Cuomo with Bobby Shmurda!
Bobby for governor! Bobby for governor!
Come on, get no pussy! Come on, get no pussy! Come on, get no pussy! Come on, get no pussy!
You know, it's the sounds of the youth.
Yeah. That's how they ran him out of office. It had nothing to do with, it was all about the alleged sex scandal. And now he's back because we have such short memories, apparently.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's still people walking around with masks on. So, I mean, the memories can't be that short.
I know. Dude, it's crazy. The masks are something else there, too. I feel like especially a lot of Uber drivers do it. And I wonder if it's because some of the, I don't know.
I see that a lot, too. You're right. I do see that a lot. I just saw it the other day, and the guy drove by, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
It's never over. Some people, they're going forever. Hey, well, you know what? I have a couple of things I got to show you with this whole thing. With other stuff going on with no kings and around everywhere else. But in Japan, take a listen to what Japan just fixed for themselves. They got their first female prime minister. Here's what you need to know about Sanae Takaichi.
Takaichi.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently,
she is an ultra conservative. I don't know what that means in Japanese.
I was going to say, yeah.
You know that the Overton window. I don't know what it translates to. With a traditional view of gender roles and penchant for heavy metal music.
Whoa.
Hell yes.
All right.
She's
got taste.
You darn right.
So maybe similar to Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister who was assassinated.
The late prime minister. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she's in that vein.
Japan's parliament elected Takaichi on Tuesday, several weeks after she was chosen to lead the conservative Liberal Democratic Party.
Whoa, that's confusing.
I know. The Liberal Democratic Party is an ultra-conservative...
Wow. Okay.
which was spent much of the last 7 decades in power. The LDP is seen as shifting further to the right. It was only able to elect Takaichi by forming an alliance with a right-wing populist party after losing its longtime coalition partner earlier this month.
Oh, interesting.
Takaichi, 64 years old, is one of the most conservative people in Japan's conservative LDP. They compare her to Margaret Thatcher out there. Again, I don't know how this translates to Japanese, for whom she has frequently expressed her admiration, often wears blue suits in tribute.
Okay.
But she likes, she plays the drums.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although Bill Clinton played the saxophone.
I know. Deep Purple and Iron Maiden as some of her favorite bands.
Okay, so major props for that. Are you kidding me? We talked about Ian Gillan last week and singing Garden of Gethsemane.
Listen, I just jammed on some Iron Maiden with Pete and Tom over here for VIP night.
Okay, so I mean that's pretty cool, I gotta say.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool.
That's the first time I actually ever got to play Iron Maiden with live musicians.
Really?
You know, I've put it in my ears and just, jammed around a little bit, but good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm Deep Purple. That's props. That's great.
So
good for her.
We will see.
Well, that's spreading all over Europe and Asia. I mean, it's just so obvious what the people at large really want. And that's why I'm sure we're going to get to it next, but that's what, the No King stuff was funny, but also just tragically sad. These people so pathetic. Just
Yeah.
like awkward and
I wish it was a little bit more of a harmless pathetic.
yeah,
Because
this is true.
Because you what they have going on in their head and what they support, the view and the fears that they support and validate for each other is crazy.
Yeah,
and it always comes around to, listen, this is a life-threatening situation, and you don't vote that away. It's no longer a difference of opinion. You can't even identify difference of opinion if you can't have conversation.
Yep.
If there's no humility in politics anymore, there's no pursuit for intellectual understanding of anything, any concept, even basic supply and demand. When we talk about economic issues and why socialism is an affront to human nature. Things like that you can't even get to because there's no ability to converse. So it becomes more in the absence of conversation. It becomes more and more life and death, and that's why these overly emotional housewives that show up with their placards on their birthday. They're talking about saving democracy by making their voice heard, and then end the whole thing by wishing death on people. And that they're bloodthirsty under it all, and
I think the fish rots from the head down, because you saw that clip the other day where a reporter from, I think, Lindell TV confronted Nancy Pelosi on the steps of the Capitol, and in her drunken slur words, she said, "Shut up."
Yeah,
so what you see and what I observe in those No Kings protests, anytime anybody who's reporting. And we're not talking mainstream media reporters who love to fawn all over these kinds of things, but anybody who asks a serious question or even is just kind of curious about, hey, can you explain what your sign means? Can you tell me a little bit more about exactly what you're protesting? And inevitably it devolves rather rapidly, because there isn't really a lot there once you get past, like you said, those talking points, right? It's always, whenever I'm watching a mainstream media clip, I'm counting the seconds before somebody says it's a threat to our democracy. Right? Words that I don't think anybody really knows what it means anymore. Certainly not the people out on the streets wearing their cat costumes or fish costumes. It was a weird cross-section of human beings.
I've got an example for you right here. There's so many. All you'll get in certain parts of the internet right now is, wow, look at all the helicopter numbers. Look at this block over here in the middle of New York, or
and don't tell me that was somehow staged so that they could corral everybody in to get a good picture.
Listen, the next videos we're going to watch are going to be incredible.
Okay.
But this one right here is this is what happens when you stop zooming out and you zoom in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what. Yeah.
But if we had a king, we wouldn't be able to have the protest.
No, we would. We would.
What does your sign say?
And Trump would say no, by the way. Trump would say no.
If Trump would say no, we wouldn't be having a protest.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Well, we have a
You're
protest.
talking about ICE going over and throwing people away?
Throwing people away?
ICE people's throwing people away.
Is that's got to be one of those duckbill masks around his neck, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's one of those masks.
Dude, this is, you talk about low testosterone. Look at this guy.
I think this is autism, dude.
You think so?
I think it's Asperger's. It's something.
Maybe he intentionally OD'd on Tylenol.
There's so much spectrum behavior going on, and it's sad to me, because you have to imagine. I have to imagine that those, especially for some people, it makes them more impressionable than others.
Oh, of course,
and all that, and of course, this is one of the more unspoken aspects of the trans situation.
Yes.
Which is, I think, just brutal.
No, I agree. I mean, this guy looks like he's on the younger side. So these are truly the useful idiots. And then you've got the other end of the spectrum, where it should be like the slightly older part of the crowd, the boomers, who still think it's the 60s and still think they're fighting the man, only to be yet to realize they actually are the man in so many ways.
It's crazy, because in the 1960s, there was a number of occasions where people who, I guess, would, of course, their legend would only grow after their assassination. But you talk about cultural icons, public figures who were shot dead.
Yeah.
And people who were awake back then saw it as a part of, a turning tide, something going on. What really happened to Jack Kennedy, what really, all this stuff. And now here they are, for those who are old enough to ride that wave. Here you are in the 2020s. It's new roaring 20s. And without ever connecting the dots,
I know.
you are almost cheering on a new wave of politically fueled deaths. But this time you want those assassinations to happen. I mean, it's brutal what some people are articulating in the streets right now.
Absolutely. No, I know. And I don't, that's the thing that I guess my mind is too logical, and I don't understand how people can't see it. And and then you look at like in our world, of music, you see all the bands that were once, like the Rage Against the Machine is one of my favorite examples of that, right? Like during COVID, it was Rage on behalf of the machine, and they may do it because I'm sure they get it. I'm sure they're smart enough to understand. They've always been sellouts. They're just sellouts to the highest bidder. So if there's one political cause that makes them look more palatable, or helps the funding mechanism or whatever it is, okay, that's fine. But what shocks me is the people who are now on the side of, during COVID, it was the mandates and the lockdowns and all the things, right? The state just with their, boot on your neck, they still think that Rage Against the Machine is somehow raging against the machine. And I don't, for the life of me, Frank, I can't understand how anybody can't see that, but so many people can't see that. No. It's just shocking to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It's shocking. I mean, it goes on and on. You realize, wow, this woman was just asking him, hey, if Trump didn't want people to protest, he's not trying to stop people from protesting. He can have an opinion on the protest.
Are you kidding me?
But listen, it gets even worse. It gets even worse because maybe he's being intentionally obtuse, but...
We do have our right to protest. I don't believe Trump is stopping your right to protest because we're having this today.
He's trying to. Are you seeing what sort of stuff he's saying?
He's not here stopping it.
Are you kidding me? Trump would
Where
have to
is
be in
he?
101. Trump would have to be in over 1,000 locations to stop these protests.
So, I mean, think about what kind of level of mind, what mental level you're dealing with right there. When first you say, "Oh, Trump's trying to stop all these things from happening," have you not heard what he's saying? So
right.
He's using his First Amendment. The president is
right.
to criticize their use of the First Amendment, but there's nobody's trying to stop anything. And then he goes, oh well, the only reason why he can't stop it is because he would have to be in 1,000 places at once. So if Donald Trump was physically in New York City, he might be able to what are you talking about? He has to be.
And Frank, I mean, if he's such a king, why doesn't he just roll tanks down the street right over the protesters? I mean, it's just so ridiculous. There's nothing in reality that backs up their position. But I mean, again, I think it's a combination of the useful idiots and then, of course, the paid protesters. And there was a funding document released. I didn't get the chance to really look at it, but it had been released. I saw it in several places. It was very interesting about the funding mechanism of this No Kings. And
I got it.
Oh,
I got it right here.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did not know this was coming.
Jay is being he's been kept in the dark.
I really have.
Okay. Now, I got to call some attention to Nate Friedman.
Okay.
And it not only this work has been incredible. This was months ago with the first No Kings protest.
Oh yeah,
okay,
June,
and
right?
then I'm going to show you what he just did this last time. Now Nate goes and I reached out to him. I left a message in his inbox. 10,000 other people probably did too. So whatever, but he is an independent journalist from New York. He's been covering every major protest that he can get to in order to investigate how organic it is. And what he really does is, aside from all of his digging and dot connecting, he has visually documented the same people at every place, wearing different shirts, different placards, working in different coordinating roles, and. For some people say, well, listen, rallies have to be coordinated and all that stuff. Listen, no, you're talking about you're talking about provocateuring here.
Yeah,
that's just essentially what we're going on, and of course the money and where it all leads and who's behind it all.
Yeah,
here is from 18 weeks ago. First No Kings. Hold on, sorry.
The reason that
Can you shut up? It's so annoying.
I know.
I'm exposing one professional protester for every 100 followers I get.
Do you feel like Republicans want to kill Jews?
Yes. They want to kill Jews. They want to kill black people. They want to kill brown.
Can I just ask your credentials and what you're
Oh, my name is Nate. I just have a YouTube channel.
Nate, so we don't know what side Nate is
Let him. I know, but I don't care.
These are the hallway monitors that show. They want to make sure nobody's talking to the trolls.
And it's just a perfect. She is the perfect embodiment of who would be doing that.
I believe her name is Karen. It's crazy.
Just so you know, I'm with a group that is just pointing out that there are some folks here who will take words and
let
turn
them do it. I don't care.
Let's have a conversation.
This guy's got balls.
I don't give a shit. Let them report
Just
me.
be an idiot on camera.
Who cares about these?
People will
These are fucking. These are cunts who have no fucking balls and they will troll. Let them troll. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Asking people questions is trolling or baiting.
Of course it is, right?
Because and it must feel that way if you don't have answers.
Exactly.
It must feel that.
Yes.
But you can't make that last leap.
No.
Who are you
I'm
with?
giving you fair warning.
I know that. I don't give a shit.
Who is she with? Why is she not letting you talk?
I don't care about
Are you his mother?
Charlie Kirk, Fuentes, and these. I don't give a shit.
Can I ask who are you with? Can I ask who are you with?
Thank you.
Who are you with?
I'm with America.
No, but you asked me who am I with, so I'm asking you who are you with?
Well, you're acting like a reporter with a.
I am a reporter.
Yeah, okay.
You want to see my press credentials?
I want to talk. I don't
Hey, here's my press credentials.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so who are you with?
I'm right now I'm representing myself and I'm representing the folks at Rise and Resist who have been trained
so Rise and
to be
Resist.
marshals.
How much do they pay you to wear?
Trained to be marshals. Listen, how much they pay, and listen to the coordination here that she's. Yeah.
Wear this vest.
Absolutely nothing.
Really? So I did some digging, and the woman trying to stop my interview is named Karen Shaw. She is a professional protester.
Amazing.
I found her at almost 100 different protests. Let's look at her portfolio, shall we? Here's her outside Trump Tower saying TikTok time's up. Here's her saying ban guns, not drag. Amazing. Wow. This is her telling us that lies have consequences. She is also very passionate about abortion. Even in the video right now, she's just wearing a hat that says abortion on it. Sometimes she gets less creative though and just holds a sign that says enough. Now here I found her working with a different professional protester that I've exposed. This is Stuart Waldman. He was there when they raised the Palestinian flag over City Hall in Rhode Island.
Everyone knows you.
Everyone knows me?
They know what you do.
I know what you do as well, Stuart Waldman. You are on the board of riseandresist.org, the company that is paying people like Karen for a second job as a professional protester. And the donation link to give you money is just Act Blue, which is the fundraising platform for the Democrat Party. That's who you are, Stuart Waldman.
Amazing.
Now back to Karen. I found her with another professional protester that I've exposed. This was back at the Tesla protest. This is just a few photos of this other professional protester out of maybe 50 that I found.
So the reason that
So I mean,
dude, this is what the internet was never intended for. If it was ever meant to corral us into silos even and divide us even further, the upside is that you will never ever hear this on the supposed news outlets, right? Like an MSNBC or a CNN. They're never going to show you what's actually going on. So credit to anybody who's able to even just peel back a layer of the onion just a little bit to show you how inauthentic that entire movement really is. Dude, that's incredible.
I'm glad you said it because I was thinking about these. I'm going to show you another one. This is one that just happened. He posted 2 days ago. It's part one of a deeper dive into No Kings protest that I just did in New York City in particular.
Yep.
But I was thinking about these videos today as I was driving Aurora to school in the morning, and there was that one thought that kept going through my mind, and that was how I think that the reason why these videos, and we have a lot of friends that are in investigative journalism. I mean, you do it well. You're an investigative journalist in many respects in the categories that you've committed your life to. I know so many great people I've become friends with over the years that do it well as too. But whenever it pops off like this, and you see one of these pieces that are put together, it doesn't matter who the hell it is. It a wave comes over me, and I realize how unfamiliar and experienced it is to see real investigative journalism in such a, I don't know, an effective way.
Yeah.
Because when you, as far as the average experience that a person has in dealing with the news or a news outlet or anything like that, you really only get the story, a narrative. You get a narrative, you get a little bit of video B-roll, you get some selective testimony from people around the scene. Who the hell know they are? They might be a key grip. You know, it's like you just get this little thing. And then when was the last time you ever saw anyone watching cable news where you get a report like this by Nate Friedman, where just so succinctly you show these people are showing up at every damn place. They are listed on major organizations' websites as founders and you know, other associated agents. You can see how you donate and how this all it runs on a financial level and who directly that's connected to.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, you don't get that. You get the helicopter view and you get the, wow, MAGA must be terrified. And it's,
I mean, what about television shows that used to present opposing opinions? Like I'm going to get this incorrect. Maybe the chat knows, but I believe I heard somebody saying the last time was Tucker Carlson back when he was, you know, in his early days, was he on a show Crossfire? I feel like he might have been, but somebody was saying that might have been the last time that they really allowed opposing views to have their time on prime time to be able to talk through issues. Now, when you watch any of those major networks, it is the people they bring on, the panels, their collective IQ is like room temperature. It is just nonsensical, stupid, useless information that's either one, totally untrue, or like you said, it's like peering through a keyhole trying to get a good feel for the room, right? Like obviously you can't, right? But they really tried to corral you into that one little teeny tiny narrative because they know if they brought anybody else on to even ask a simple question, the whole thing would fall apart. That's why Karen has to blow a kazoo, right? Because she can't be asked a question. I'm with America. Oh, really?
It's you know, again, another macro micro situation is forming right there when you talk about that, as far as an analogy goes. And that is, why was the loss of Twitter so detrimental? Because all of the uniform political oneness that you had in all of these companies, in the way that they are moderating their platforms, the terms of service that nobody can figure out, the shadow banning, all that stuff. You know, it's incredible. All of a sudden, you had something that didn't belong.
Right, and they said, "Oh, Elon Musk is prioritizing and amplifying conservative voices." No. He just took the handcuffs off. And then what you
just
saw,
just a little bit,
right? And then what you saw was a more accurate depiction of reality. These crazy people that are out there chanting a threat to democracy. Donald Trump won the Electoral College in a landslide and the popular vote, and the Republican Party won the House and the Senate. That is democracy. The only threat to democracy is you people, because you people who are now officially the minority want to rule the majority. So even if you go in truly democratic terms, what are you talking about threat to democracy? I don't even understand. There is no logic, obviously, but the hypocrisy is so unbelievable. I mean, that's why it was great when he won the popular vote. Remember on election night, we said, now there are no more, but obviously we were wrong, because we can still have a no kings protest in a country where the majority voted for this guy and want what he's doing.
I know.
It's remarkable.
I know. The pivoting is nuts, man.
And no introspection. They cannot ever look at themselves and say, you know, maybe we should. Nope. It's always external. It's always somebody else's fault.
And that's where it becomes a little bit more of a struggle for me.
Yeah.
Because I get crazy. I'm like, okay, well, can't reach them. They're nuts. But they're not. It's not just like a bad television show you can turn off and disassociate with. You have to live around these people.
Yeah.
Because there's never ever a moment, a satisfying moment of, hey, you know, there's no catharsis.
Right.
There's nothing. You don't see the light go on for a person, like, because if the light went on for a Democrat and they started seeing things, not as a Republican, but they started seeing things a little more independently, and you just saw something break loose, then all of a sudden there is a little bit of gush of hope that, oh, wow, wait, maybe we might have reclaimed somebody from the land of the dead.
Right.
I don't even care if they vote my way.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to talk to people and have some jokes, tell some jokes again. That would be a great place to start. But like I was saying before, what happened when they lost Twitter? It's the same thing why they keep a very tight eye or close eye on how they comprise those television panels. You can't have too many outliers in there. You have to have somebody play the heel, like what's his name does on some of those CNN panels. I don't know. There's always that one Republican guy that
he's the only guy I know that does that even gets up there. He does a halfway decent job, but he's the only one I even know of. I don't think any of the other channels even pretend anymore.
Yeah, and they wouldn't do it for the same reason why during all of those 2008, 2012 presidential elections, they kept Ron Paul in a broom closet.
Oh yeah, because they don't want people to actually hear reason.
Right.
Because they know the truth is going to resonate, and you that might be you had a really good conversation with Rich yesterday. Your question about it was something along these lines, right? Like, is there any reaching these people at some point, right? Like you keep waiting for that aha moment and it never arrives. And I think that's, like you said, that's why they keep those points of view very, very hidden, because they're so powerful. Because the other side has nothing to stand on. Again, that's why you blow kazoos. Because you really don't have anything. You don't stand for anything. You just stand against something. It's the only time, and I'm obviously, voted for Trump, and I appreciate everything he's doing. It's the only time, and I think he's the right tool for the job right now, but it's the only time I wish you could combine all of that with like the smoothness of like a JFK or something, so that you could even disarm them from having like the outrage about his robust personality, right? And the things that he says, right? Because that's like, I feel like that's the only thing they can hold on to. And that's what a lot of these crazy people will hold on to. But if that were to be taken away and he just presented himself, and now when you listen to him speak, he's totally rational and reasonable about just about everything. But if you were to take away that sort of attitude, which again, I don't think you could, because that's required for the times we live in. But if you could, it would be interesting to see what they would do. Because I feel like that's the only thing they've got left, is Trump is a maniac,
dude. Yeah, well, now that the weekend is over, and they don't want to spend too much time on that, because of course, the more you look into it, the more you see how embarrassing it all is.
Yeah.
But now that the weekend is over, at least online, all attention has shifted to the remodeling of the East Wing of the White House. and Jay, you want to know how absolutely brain dead the pivot on this story has been? The most popular pivot on this story is, hold on, because I retweeted one twice. I had to comment on it. I couldn't believe that this is catching on with these people. It is, here's one. This account says, notice how these MAGAs cry when we tear down Confederate war monuments, but they don't care a lick when Trump tears down part of the actual White House. Comparing the erasure of history
to
the remodeling of a turn of the 20th century wing of the White House. Like, what? I don't get. And they're all like, he's building a ballroom for his own vanity. I said, do you understand that by the time this ballroom is done, that the only administrations that are going to be able to enjoy it are every president after him?
And if he built it in his first administration, stumbling, bumbling Biden would have been able to be the beneficiary. And everyone would have said how wonderful he looks in his room.
Of course, how wonderful this trans Christmas party is.
Oh,
and,
my God.
You don't think that there's going to be some kind of a drag show in the ballroom in 8 years if somebody slips in there? Come on.
Without a doubt.
Please.
It's pathetic.
So, I mean, this is one of those things where it's just you can't. It's hard because you want to be involved and you want to know what's going on in the world, but at the same time, all of your instincts to respond to something that is absolutely insane doesn't do any good, because when you realize the kind of creature you're dealing with, it pulls something out of you can't get back. It's like when Malachi Martin talks about every exorcism he does, you lose a part of your soul. You don't get it back, because you come face to face with such with such an unthinking hatred, something that is so insalubrious that like you lose something you don't get back.
I agree, and that's why it's so important now today more than ever to pick your battles, because I think, you say this a lot and I agree with you. I don't think human beings were ever meant to experience such a wash of information on a 24/7 basis because of social media and just media in general. I mean, there was a time in human history where you only knew what was going on immediately around you. Like, how would I know there's a war in between Ukraine and Russia? I mean, other than the news reporting it, I actually don't know. I'm not saying that there isn't, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be more concerned about, and maybe this is one of the lessons that we try to teach with what Jen and I do is, listen, I'm not saying to unplug yourself from the world completely, but if that is taking up more of your time, resources, effort, anxiety, energy than your own health and your own well-being and your own family and your own, community circles, I'm sorry, but you're doing something wrong, right? Because it's like the oxygen mask analogy. First of all, if you do want to be better for other people and try to change the world, you have to first take care of yourself. You got to clean your own room. That's a Jordan Peterson thing. But I always use the oxygen mask. You have to put it on yourself first in order to save others. So you're not going to be the best version of yourself if you're out there, as a obese type 2 diabetic who can't, you're not going to, and I'm not saying that to be crude. I'm saying you need to clean up at home first, get yourself right, and then you can go out there and you can do things. But if more of your energy is going, like you said, towards sort of like, what the blind man pissing into the wind. I mean, I don't think that's the best use of your time on this earth. And it might be a way to sort of calibrate yourself. Am I spending enough time worrying about me? It's not a selfish thing. It's actually insanely positive for your close circle, your family, and your loved ones to prioritize your own health so you can be around for a long time and you can be as healthy as you can. So I don't know, for people at home, it's not that I pay attention to it. Frank pays attention to it, but not in lieu of personal development, personal growth, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. Yeah, it's very important.
It's one of those things you have to take you have to look at it. You have to understand what's happening out there, but then you have to set some limits, and sometimes those limits are very unsatisfying because we are like, some people deserve to be just shook, like physically taken by the shoulders and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Yeah. And they want to do worse than shake us.
I know. But that was so enlightening, though. I think it's really important, and that could be a place that people could start to say, hey, these protests are not organic. This is not your fellow man. First of all, again, what I just said, the majority of this country voted one way, and now the minority isn't even as large as you think it is, because what percentage of them are being paid and lying about being paid, Frank?
Here it is. Here's part one of Nate Friedman's two-part expose on what just happened over the weekend. This is, of course, from Nate Friedman's Instagram. And as far as investigative journalism, citizen journalism on the site, like between him and Nick Shirley, Nick and I talk every once in a while. We're texting, and every time we have a date for him to come here and hang out in studio, he gets on a plane and he's in the middle. In the middle of the craziness, or sitting across the table from President Trump these days. Just incredible what he's doing. But still, here's part one. Take a look at this.
You didn't get an email about like the briefing. Is there like a sign up for it or something like that?
I think this is maybe sort of.
What's that?
No, we're good. No, we're good. But I don't know.
Oh no, I'm just press asking questions.
Yeah, I think no. But no, it's
no, we're not going to talk. No,
I don't know.
Okay, so they had a full panic and just talked over each other. Now, this woman did the scripted right-wing troll line, which I guess they must have forgotten to pick up their signs, because that's exactly what they did to me last time. And before that, a different paid protester with the exact same sign followed me around the Take Down Tesla protest. So who are these people really? Keep watching. What's the next protest?
I don't know.
This one.
I'd have to. He's got a camera, just so you know. He's got a camera. He's recording you.
What are you so afraid of, sweetie?
Have a conversation. How long have you been working?
The truth is on your side.
I'm not answering those questions. I'm not going to answer any personal questions.
That's fair. Do you feel like Trump is a king?
I don't. I'm not going to get into a political conversation with you.
I'm not at a protest.
I'm here just to marshal this thing.
Oh man, these people are so dim.
I know.
Here to marshal and keep people safe. That's my job here.
She's going to keep people safe.
I feel safer already, Frank.
I know. She's like, the mama hen.
Yeah.
That just extends the wings and so that the baby chicks don't get hit by the rain.
Yeah, I'm going to take her to the supermarket next time, make sure I'm okay in aisle 5.
I know. She's so great.
Today, and I'm just going to do my job.
What do you mean by like marshal?
We help traffic. We help people with the traffic.
Look at my desk.
We help cars redirect.
We help traffic. I mean, I would love to know. So you're directing traffic in New York City?
Weird.
Who the hell?
All you gotta do is put on a vest, Frank.
Who? No, seriously. No, this. And I wish that he had asked this. I don't think he did. But how the hell does one become deputized to direct city traffic? What are you talking about?
Just a vest.
And then she talks about. You can tell that she's trying to speak. I don't know. Listen to this. The next comment about the police.
We help bike messengers. Okay. We are helping people be safe on the streets.
Does that mean you guys are working with the NYPD?
Yes.
Kind of.
We talk to them.
Yeah, we talked to them.
Nice answer.
Yes, we talked.
I've talked to an NYPD officer once.
I've seen one of them. They're all around. They're dressed in navy blue, right?
Okay, I did not know that. That's interesting. But is there like a briefing before, like that you guys work with? Yeah. So how do they know that like you're out there marshaling with them?
They're not blind.
And neither am I. This is you calling ICE thugs, and with a $50,000 bounty on ICE agents, you have blood on your hands. Wow. This is you taking it a step further and calling them the Gestapo. Back again at a different protest, and again and again. Damn. The company she works for is Rise and Resist. They are one of the nonprofits receiving a portion of the $7.6 million from George Soros and were responsible for the takedown Tesla protests that often resulted in vandalism. They claim that all of their events are non-violent, which is odd because there's hundreds of pictures of their protesters getting arrested. One of the things they love to do is organize sit-ins at Trump Tower, and they're politely escorted out of the building and released from custody almost instantly, which means that the supposed king is quite forgiving with people trespassing his family's home. The donation link to Rise and Resist goes straight through Act Blue. Now it's really her associates that are the star players on the protesting field. Watch this. You see her? She works with Karen Shaw, the kazoo lady from the previous No Kings rally. This is her making the signs for Rise and Resist in their little print shop. She protests whatever is on the schedule. Back again. And
you remember when this creature would just work at a coffee house somewhere?
Yeah, I do. Or it'll be a lunch lady. Just get a job.
Just go
get
back.
A real job.
Go back to the coffee house, please. Stop doing this to people. I'm making a difference.
In front of the courthouse asking to abolish ICE. She wants to, quote, free them all, and she's doing this sit-in again inside of Trump's family home.
So
I didn't get an email about
Yeah, man, that's incredible. I mean, just again, to reiterate the fact that not all is what it seems. And again, you don't get any... The media... They exist to put up filters between the truth and the people. No longer, if they ever did, do they exist to actually allow people to have a window into the world. It's just not the case anymore. And but that's obviously why MSNBC and the viewership, and we talked about that during the election too, the sinking ratings. I mean, 16 people watch them. I mean, it's the same 16 people over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's sad. It's sad because we could use a media today, an actual media, but I guess we do in some way, right?
We do. And that's the whole, that's the rub there. The question is that, of all the time that it takes for minds to change about any one thing or another, when is it really going to sink in? Because we know that the numbers are already there.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. As far as, what people are pulling in as far as viewership on the internet versus what's being pulled in anywhere on cable.
Yep.
Maybe there's a way for all that stuff to coexist if it's similar brands, and if I had a television channel as well as a radio station as well as a channel on YouTube and Pilled and Rumble, I would make it all synchronized, whatever. But that's just not the case. We're talking about mediums, platforms that are competing, for relevancy, and the statistical war has long since been settled.
Yeah.
So the real question is, when are people going to find people like one or the other. I think they are. But it's also just very generational.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, I often wonder about what it is that makes people believe the media. Is it just pure repetition, or is it still is it still reputational?
Yeah.
Meaning like, this is MSNBC. They can't be wrong. Or is it just the fact that they just repeat the same stupid lie and talking points? And I don't know, because when I hear people like that being interviewed, you can hear them just recycling the Joe, the Bert and Ernie show, the Joe Scarborough talking points. Like they just recycle the same things.
It makes me wonder what they want. It really, especially the people on the ground. Like it makes me wonder what everybody who stands there and isn't getting paid really wants.
Right.
You hear enough older, 60-something-year-old ladies get interviewed, and they have tears in their eyes, the quivering voices, and you can see, okay, that's legitimate fear.
Yeah.
So some people have been scared out of their asses.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like during COVID.
And then other people, I just wonder what they think they're going to get, especially if it comes at the price of standing around and not really knowing why you're there. Because every time your knowledge on the subject is tested, you fall to pieces.
I can't remember what protest it was, because there's been so many. There was this amazing video of two girls, and one of the street reporters asked the girl, "What are you here protesting?" And they were college kids. And I remember the girl said, "I don't know, what are we here, bro? I just heard there was, it was like at Columbia. I think it was one of the Free Palestine protests earlier in the year, or maybe it was even last year." And she asked her friend what they were there protesting. And that was like the epitome of she was not, I'm sure this girl had no malicious intent. She was just completely and totally like a non-individual. She was just programmed by her surroundings. And she's like, "What? I don't know. What are we here, Becky? What are we here protesting for?" And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's the caliber of protester out there. You're right. They don't know what they want. They're like a dog chasing cars, right? They wouldn't really know what to do if they caught it.
Well, dude, here's what's going on here. You're talking about a type of person who back in 2009 is they're spending all of their time watching Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
This type of people, they're watching Jersey Shore. They're watching Real Housewives of New Jersey. They're watching Teen Mom. They're watching Toddlers and Tiaras. They're watching all of these, Mob Wives, Boston Med. I remember all these things because we were making fun of these reality TV shows when we were broadcasting back then.
Dumbing down of America.
Dude, listen, we were all watching it. Some of it was guilty pleasures. Other was just like, wow, we got to make fun of all these people. And then, but what I realize is that those girls, the people just show up. I'm here to be part of it. This is the new Mob Wives.
Yeah.
There's nothing that these people watch on A&E anymore, because the reality TV show, they've been cast in it now.
Right.
You have to get outside and go to Central Park, because you are in the next episode of Mob Wives. And if you go there, you can impact the final episode.
Yeah.
This is what's going. There's people that have never actually been intellectually in it. They have absolutely no idea about where they even live, the history of the country, what government is, how it's supposed to function in the United States. They're just these are just disaffected reality TV junkies that have nothing else to watch anymore.
Yeah.
It's just the way I see it.
No, you're right. And from my perspective, from my field, it's the same kind of thing. Anytime I engage with anybody, I always go in genuinely trying to understand, learn something, figure out a point of view. But it doesn't take very long in a string of comments to understand that some people, again, they just recycle talking points that they heard somewhere. So they've never actually engaged in an intellectual pursuit, trying to master a field or a craft or get adept at something enough that they could articulate a position or push a field forward. They just, like you said, they just want to be in the fray. And, I don't know. It's like the lost art of apprenticeship. Like once upon a time, you had to earn your way into the fray. And like you said, now they can just show up on a Saturday and be a protester.
They have no choice too, because think about things like, we've seen it happen to every, to one degree or another, every major sport. Every time there's a fucking touchdown right now in the back of the end zone, end zone, there's end racism or
right.
choose love. Or it's I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
And then you know, we used to be able to turn on the Grammys or the Oscars and see some good performances and see which of the old stars showed up and all that stuff. And, you know, there's always somebody making a, you know, weepy-eyed dedication and getting dramatic about things, but it wasn't a conga line of retards going up there one after another and hitting all the hashtag causes there are. It's like you need all the people who were on the outside of consequential issues and looking at us and thinking we're nuts for, you know, questioning 9/11 or JFK. Right. All those people who are on the outside of those issues and very comfortably in just reality TV, movies and music and all that other stuff. You know, this is America. Everything is stable. Everything's fine. We're going to be okay over here. We're safe. We're insulated by 2 oceans.
Right.
We're good. Go get the terrorists. All that
Fight
stuff.
them over there so they don't come over here.
Yeah, we have to get them over there. So you know, all that stuff that was going on, all of a sudden the price that had to be paid to watch those award shows became increasingly more political. So you couldn't enjoy these things without also understanding what your favorite actor is really upset by.
Yeah, you know, one of the first people, I don't know if you have this, I have a memory, like one of the first people I remember doing this was Eddie Vedder. He was one of the first ones I really remember getting up there and doing it all the time. And, you know, again, and I've significantly changed since my teenage, you know, years in terms of how I see the world, and obviously just learning things for myself rather than having them force fed to me by social circles and the television and all that stuff. But he was one of the first people I remember getting up there at the MTV Video Music Awards and talking about something in some country I didn't know. I was like, okay, Eddie Vedder is telling me something about something happening somewhere and I should care about it, but I just really want to hear that song, you know. And you know, you say this all the time. You got to be careful when you hear these people speak. Oh no, you were saying about John Cusack the other night, or maybe it was yesterday. When you really like what they do as an artist, and then you hear them speak, and you're like, "Please don't ruin it! Please don't ruin it!"
No, that wasn't John Cusack. I said that. If I said that, it wasn't about Cusack because I never really cared for what he did.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're just warning other people who might like John Cusack.
It's the same. I've made that comment. It's like, you know, it goes back to that old saying, you know, one of the worst things that can happen to you is that you meet your heroes.
Exactly.
And then you realize that just like, oh no, this guy.
High Fidelity was a good movie, but you know, anyway, yeah, I mean, like you hear them speak and then you know, it just colors your, you know, the way you look at what they do. And I don't know, you're right. It's interesting. That is a social price that you had to start to pay. If you wanted to be in the in crowd, you go, I really care about this. I really don't know what he's talking about, but I know I care about it.
Yeah,
that kind
and
of thing.
Of course, I think women should have all the rights.
All of them.
I want. Of course, I want women to have all the rights. So somebody must be out there trying to take those away.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some super chats.
Okay.
And remember, everybody, the super chat, what we're going to be giving away tonight is a 1-month membership to healthreclamationproject.com. That is Jay and Jenny's venture. You're going to have access to all types of information and all types of streams, and it's really, I think it's going to be a wonderful thing as time goes on. You just keep promoting it. So
and if you don't win and you're still interested, but you're not sure, you can also just go to the contact page and just put your email in and just say, hey, what's up? We're just collecting emails and we'll let you know. Anytime we do like another promo code or something, we'll let people know. So again, it's like, honestly, you guys know me. There is no pitch. There is no pressure. We're just doing this for you guys. We want to try to make everybody in this audience healthy so we can live to see Frank outpace Joe Rogan. So that's what we're doing.
Oh, well, so I hope I can outpace. I just want to outpace, I don't know.
Tim Pool?
What are we talking? Oh, you're talking about in career?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe.
Not health wise. No, we're talking about, you know,
I would
show size and reach and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, I have a very, I see the path. I see the path with the audience, the kind of audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a very specific kind of audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you peek in on a Tim Cass IRL chat room. Go peek in on the chat room.
Yeah, I've seen it.
How loving they are of him, you know? He gets the
bigger isn't always better.
Bigger is not. Well, it's not. No, but that's the whole thing. It's how you get bigger.
That's true.
It's how you get bigger. Some people get big. All of a sudden they hit something, and all of a sudden they're huge in a couple of months, and other people just take years, and they brick by brick and all that stuff. And I think that it's a lot easier to maintain quality. I have a extremely high quality audience I'm so grateful for.
That's totally true, because when you're an overnight sensation, you get a whole bunch of hangers on, and
but it doesn't. It also doesn't matter once you get to a certain. Once you get to a certain size, then then the tomatoes start getting thrown.
That's true.
It doesn't matter at that point, but I'm very happy.
But you got a nice foundation to protect you and insulate you from it.
Yes, I've got I've got a granite foundation with everybody out there, and I can't tell you. Every day I get more and more grateful, and now we're in grateful season. So let's be grateful right now with some of these super chats. Eli P says, "Great show, Frank." Well, thank you so much. Rockman Drums just subscribed to tier 1 over on Twitch. I can't believe I'm shouting people out on Twitch. So let me get that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Road Trip says, these are the people who cheered for the Borg in the summer in the 1990s when Star Trek had the cliffhanger season with Picard the Nazi when Picard the Nazi was captured. I missed that. I missed that. But I will say this, even though I'm a Star Wars guy, I'm not a Trekkie.
Yeah.
In the 90s, during all of those Patrick Stewart Picard days, whenever it was later at night and I saw a Star Trek episode on, I would sit back and watch it. I wouldn't know what was going on, but there was something comforting about it.
Very interesting show. Very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked both. I was definitely more of a Star Wars fan, but it was also, Star Wars was easier to consume because it was just a few movies as opposed to Star Trek, which was like an investment.
Well, it depends on who you are, Jay.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're Star Wars, a fanatic, then it was the 3 movies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, 97, 98 is when all of the special editions came out, leading up to 99's episode 1.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
And then you had those 3. But along the way, from the 80s through the 90s, that's when the Dark Horse comics came out.
Oh, that's true.
I have all the Dark Horse comics for the Sith Empire, the Fall of the Sith, and all that shit. And then there's all of the books, all of the novels.
Wow, I guess I just watched A New Hope over and over and over again as a kid.
The Legends novels are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it starts like they were canon for so many years before Disney bought Disney bought it. Then all of a sudden, all the legend they said we're not abiding by any of the storytelling that was. And we're talking about dozens of Legends books.
That's crazy.
And they would start like a day or two after Endor. Like the first book after Return of the Jedi is this novel called The Truce at Bakura. It's really great.
Okay.
It's also when you get Shadows of the Empire between 2 and 3. Shadows of the Empire book, it became a really well-known N64 video game, Shadows of the Empire. That was the book where you actually get a little peek Luke in Ben Kenobi's old hut in Tatooine, like baking the crystal that was going to be part of his new green lightsaber.
Wow.
Yeah, that whole book, they're preparing to go and save Han in. So it's great to read these books because all of a sudden in between you have a little bit of an understanding what's going on. I'm sorry, I didn't actually realize you were that big of a Star Wars fan. I thought I was, but it's clearly not the case. It just was a wonderful, imaginative escape.
Absolutely.
But everything after Return to the... Actually, a lot of the Clone Wars cartoons were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely fantastic. And then Disney, the only thing that they did that I thought was done well was Rogue One.
That was done well. Agreed.
Rogue One was done well, and then everything else was a fucking nightmare. The first one, The Force Awakens, is... I was not blown away, but I was happy enough to see so many doors open to some really crazy possibilities, including okay, we're going to get to Luke now.
Yep.
They already killed Han.
Yep.
So you're like, okay, well, there's still a lot of shit that can happen here.
Yeah.
Then we got Luke, and then the Last Jedi was over. And once the Last Jedi happened, that's when you look back at Force Awakens and you said, oh, that sucked too now. It wasn't part of a plan. They were literally winging it. They admitted as much too, that they were winging it. They didn't actually have a storyboarded plan to take you through a new trilogy.
Can you imagine that? I mean, like you have the ultimate franchise in your lap, and that's the care you give it. That's amazing. I only saw The Force Awakens. I actually did not see the other two.
There's nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to have a laugh, like the Last Jedi, that's when you see Luke sucking on a sea cow tits. And like he like milks these sea cows with green milk, and he's slurping their milk. Like it's so fucking distinct. And of course, Daisy Ridley just kicks everybody's ass. She just Mary Sue all over the place. It's awful.
Sounds like it's the perfect movie for Mark Hamill.
Oh, dude, for what his life became.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, a fitting end.
Anyway, thank you, Road Trip, for derailing the whole show.
Yes. I'll bring in my lightsaber next time.
I tried building one.
Well, I didn't do that, but I got a good one.
In 1999. Dude, I'm telling you, in 1999,
yeah,
I was just getting out of 8th grade, and I had found this this magazine, and I had all these other things that I took from all the things I had read in Star Wars. I'm like, I think we can make one of these.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what you have is a crystal. Okay, it's really just a crystal that focuses the energy from this power pill that you have in the hilt.
Okay,
and you have these copper coils and all that stuff that just concentrates the energy, and boom, out comes the actual saber blade itself.
Okay,
and of course it's just imaginary technology, but I was like, we can do this. I had this like metal pipe that I sawed off. This is perfect size. Then I sawed it in half, thinking that I was going to be able to put all the components inside and then weld it together. Okay. And then, because at the time we had a saying, Skip was, he always had somebody we can call. Like we always said Skip had connections to people all over the place. And I called him. I remember calling him up in 1990. I was like in 8th grade, getting out of 8th grade, going into freshman year of high school. And obviously I wasn't getting laid. There's no girlfriends. Like,
and they let you use the hacksaw in the 8th grade?
I know. Yeah. In high school, everybody started having serious girlfriends and getting laid, and I was trying to build lightsabers. And so I remember calling up Skip at work, and I said, Skip, do you know anybody that works at like the power? So I was talking about like power supplies. He goes, well, I have a buddy that works at Duracell. And I said, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a battery, I need a lot of power. Got to create a laser here. And I said, can you ask your buddy if you have, because what I had taken from all of the Star Wars text was, it was called a nucleolic pill.
Okay.
So it has like nuclear connotations.
Yeah,
okay.
Makes sense.
And I said, can you ask your friend at Duracell if he knows anything about a nucleolic pill?
I wish I could have been there for that conversation.
What he said, he like wrote something down. He probably spelled it. I don't know.
Oh.
He called me back a little while. He goes, yeah, I just talked to my buddy. I said, well, what did he say? He told me, Skip, no, we don't have that, but you should probably tell him to stop asking for it. You should probably tell him to stop asking around for it, because it sounds like I'm asking for nuclear material.
Oh, okay. Not that he's hiding technology.
No, maybe, it could be.
Hey, tell him to stop asking about that kind of stuff.
You should probably stop asking for things that sound like nuclear devices.
Wait, this was in the 90s?
Yeah. And here's the best part. I knew from all of my reading in the Star Wars Legends novels that when a Jedi is putting together all of his materials for a lightsaber, first of all, they are assembling their saber with the Force. Right. They are not actually sitting there, and most of them are, at least in a great antiquity, they are meditating, and all of the components are coming together, and it's being done with their minds.
Man.
Okay, so But what happens is if anything is misaligned, especially if the crystal is misaligned from the power cell, that misalignment can cause an explosion.
Yeah.
So I started thinking to myself, what if I misalign this crystal? you know what I came up with?
What?
That I would first attempt to ignite the lightsaber for the first time by just taking like a broom handle and trying to hit the ignition box
from like 3 feet away,
from like 5 feet away.
That'll keep me safe from this nuclear explosion.
I said, well, I gotta try it somehow.
I thought you were gonna get like a trash can lid. I'm like, all right, I got a shield. I'm all set now.
It's just I can't.
This is great.
I know.
I think I made swords out of like branches off of trees and wood. It was never anything. I was not nearly as creative as that.
Yeah, tree swords are great too.
Yeah, I mean they worked.
That's just so stupid.
No, but you see, it's not stupid. That's what's missing with a lot of kids today. They're wasting too much time on iPads and computers, and you actually used your imagination. Now, you went to the point where you were asking around for nuclear devices, but hey, I give you credit for using your imagination.
Yeah, Nikki in the chat room said, call Oppenheimer. I should have called.
Skip, do you know?
Do you know Dr. Oppenheimer?
I'm just curious.
Anybody that's still living from the Manhattan Project? Do you know any surviving Manhattan Project members? I need anything you can give me.
That's too good.
Oh my gosh!
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You. Well, we all learned something.
Thanks.
Tonight.
I did well. I did well for myself.
You still got married.
I still got married. And wait until Aurora sees all this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm really just. I'm holding myself back. I just think that she's not going to be able to appreciate it for the first time through until she's like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's probably about right. I mean, it's
Though she's very perceptive, so
sure.
She might be able to understand right now.
I wouldn't even doubt that she would understand it. I guess it's more like true attention span to be able to grasp the gravity of the story. Yeah.
Yeah, because the real big thing is I want to just watch her face when she hears Vader tell Luke.
Oh yeah.
I have to sit back and I also the end of Return of the Jedi when they're in the second Death Star and Luke is fighting Vader and he's refusing to turn to the dark side,
right.
And now the Emperor is killing Luke for not turning, and in giving himself up, and he's just being shocked to death by the Emperor because he won't turn.
Mm-hmm.
To say, Father, please.
Yeah.
And that's when the Jedi returns.
Yeah.
That's when Vader comes back. Yeah. When he becomes Anakin again and he chooses his son over the... And I know.
Dude, I know. Yeah.
You know how Vader is looking, he's just going back from Luke to the Emperor, Luke to the Emperor, and I'm just going to be staring at Aurora. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Yeah, she needs to be just a little bit older to really grasp the relationships.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Stories are so important, man.
Yeah.
Because it's never about whether or not this is fantasy bullshit. There's no laser swords and all that. Yeah, perhaps there's never going to be. Perhaps
not if Frank has anything to say about it.
Yeah, but think about it. If we had lasers, I guess they would be practical in in certain construction senses. But when you really think about the idea of a lightsaber, it's not practical for any real combat application because you're talking about a blade that has no weight. Right. Barely any weight. So this was something that was only really truly wielded properly by somebody who could use these magical forces to guide the blade. So I think about what would we do here on Earth in 2025 with the ability to just fire up a lightsaber. I guess we can cut steel.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah. You could use one at a No Kings rally.
Yes. I mean, I guess there's a number of things.
You can find some applications.
People are taking an eye out, though.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're gonna have a lot of ER visits.
Very bad.
Yeah.
But then again, with Disney, people don't die from lightsaber wounds anymore. So I guess nobody. That's
they
it.
Get their arm cut off.
Oh, you can get stabbed. You can get stabbed right through. Some slashed across the chest. Nobody dies anymore. There's no consequence to. I'm telling you, storytelling is dead
Well, it all started when you have it here somewhere, don't you? Han shot first.
Yeah, out there.
Yeah. When they changed that, I was like, wait a minute.
I know.
That's not the way it happened.
I know.
I remember that when I was a kid.
It's nuts. All right, Meggle says, Frank, I had 15 vials of blood drawn at Quest Lab on Friday. I thought about you and how you would have reacted. Give me all the functional medicine love. Pretty please, Dr. Junius. Wow, that's a lot.
15 vials?
Yeah, that's like 8 more than I usually do.
That's a lot.
And I do them with a little tiny baby butterfly needle.
That's fine. So it takes even longer.
It takes longer, but you barely feel it going in. That's what she said. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. Dan Schumann says, Frank is king. I can't. No, never. I hereby give my crown to King Frank. Well, you're very kind. Thank you so much.
Some of those people at the protest were dressed like the Burger King. I was like, are you sure you understand what this protest is all about? They were dressed really strangely.
I am, in fact, a lord. I don't know if that plot of land is still mine.
Somebody gifted you that
in Scotland.
I remember that.
It's like a 1 foot by 1 foot square of land.
I heard a lot of those scams.
I think it was. I think it was.
They were selling them on the moon too. I think it's like, well, I don't know if I can prove this, but I own something on the moon. I own property. It's north of here. How far
lord.
North? Way north.
Andromeda, man.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, just beyond Cassiopeia. That's a king in my own mind. That's a great song by In Flames. Let's see.
I wonder if I know that one.
No, yeah, it's a good one. Jay Britt says, another comfy evening with dynamic duo Frank and Jay. It's good to have you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Road trip. Jay is never on during a full moon. Is that true?
Is that true? Have I never been on during a full moon?
You'd have to go back through a lot of episodes now.
I want someone to do this now.
To confirm that.
Find all the phases that I've been on this show. Is it a full moon tonight? Is that why you're saying that?
I don't know.
No, it can't be.
I don't know. Siri, what is the phase of the moon tonight? Siri, wake up. What's the phase of the moon tonight? Oh, never mind.
Siri was off in Star Wars land.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Oh, here we go. Callie Sunshine says, a tip toward the studio upgrades. Let's all pitch in to help our nightly dose of Quite Frankly grow. P.S. for my fellow Californians, please remember to vote no on Prop 50. Always a great show, Frank. Keep up the great work. Great. Yeah, well, I'm going to continue to find fun reasons to get you guys to do super chats, like with giveaways, aside from the fact that just support the show and send in some things for us to read onto the record here. But I will let you know what the scope of work in here is going to be very shortly. I'll let you know just so that we have something to drive toward, and I'll try to keep track of it because, Stickman, go ahead.
I was just going to say the full moon was October 6th. The next one is November 5th. So we're in between. And when did they start naming all these moons? The one on the 5th of November is the Beaver Moon.
Yeah, no, the Beaver Moon, I know that.
Okay. The last one was October 6th was Hunter's Moon.
Yep.
Then there's Cold Moon, Corn Moon, Buck Moon, Sturgeon Moon.
Yeah.
These are all things?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Hunter Moon, we're talking about harvest moons. So the Hunter Moon, the Sturgeon, the Hunter Moon, I remember that came around again we were talking about that around 2020 when all the Hunter Biden stuff came out.
Oh, okay.
But we were up in the Adirondacks for the Hunter Moon. It came up over the ridge on one of the last nights there.
And it's considered a super moon, which I guess means just really, yeah.
But it's super when it's coming up over the horizon.
Yeah.
Because as it ascends really beyond the tree line, it starts becoming a little bit less brilliant and more but I mean, it was gorgeous.
Oh yeah. And especially when you're up there and you don't have the light pollution to really get in the way. It's incredible.
Yeah. And the thing is that, what's crazy? We all tried taking pictures of the moon as it came up because we know that all the cameras are getting better and better. And some of us got some really great shots where you can actually see contrast on the face of the moon.
That's tough.
I know. But the other thing is going on here. There are we were taking some nighttime shots in the back of the house just to see if we can see any kind of, the starry sky and the tops of the trees and all that. what kind of shots can we get? iPhone especially, they have, I don't know what the hell they do, but it ruins nighttime images. It's made it a little bit easier to take pictures at night with low light, but it makes nighttime look like daytime.
Oh,
I don't know how it's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's done. It doesn't look good because it doesn't look like you took a shot at nighttime. You want that kind of moodiness.
Yeah, I've seen good ones, but I've never seen a phone camera be able to handle the moon the way something like a DSLR or something more advanced can. It's too bad because there are some full moons I've tried to get a picture of, but it's just not. Actually, now that I think about it, I took a picture of the October 6th moon. I was out walking my favorite graveyard, and the moon was unbelievable there because it was, it's pitch black, and if you can get the gravestones in the foreground and the full moon in the background, but it just looks like the sun.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways when you're taking a picture through your phone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jay Winard says, Frank, I have that same badass shirt. The glow in the dark function has long perished, but I still wear it. I'm guessing 12 years old. You're talking about the Svengoolie shirt? Yes. Well, my mother got this for me for Christmas, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Huh. I also have a Svengoolie Christmas sweater.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of, cheesy old film guys. And that reminds me of those first couple of years of Aurora being around. Anyway, okay, let's go over to Rumble. I got a lot to enter in here. EMJF says, hi, Frank and Jay. I look forward to the show each night, especially with Jay. You have a great team. I'd love to win a month working with him. Keep up the amazing work, guys.
Thank you.
Sarah Blazik say, hey, still waiting for my letter. Your show is only worth watching right now. I wish I could catch more live. Oh. Well, yes. Don't worry about it. Don't rush the letters. Don't rush them. I have a lot of mail to get to, and they always go out. And don't worry. Yeah. LDW Mary Jane says, hi, F and J. I'm a monthly sponsor, but being on disability since 2015 prevents me from super chats. I have a long list of health conditions, 3 rare diagnoses among them. I could use some help, Jay. Well, she should definitely email.
You should reach out anyway. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, so this is the membership, which is free for a month, which gets you like the lives and the education. The clinical one-on-ones, that's a different animal because that's like a full medical intake. And obviously there's legal parts of that, but the whole idea is to introduce you to what we do. And if you want to become part of it, you'll get pretty serious discounts on all of those clinical options. But we would love to have you. And if you do want to work with us, please, reach out on the website. You just go to the contact form and just say hello and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and do it, please. All right, here we have another. Valsky says, local Facebook group. Join us on the green for No King's Day. 6 people signed up and no one appeared. 7 million people, my ass. Valsky, thank you. Grandma Grateful says, I really want to work with Jaden. I want health answers. Well, again, just remember, everybody.
Right.
This is what this is because, Jay, what you and Jenny really came up with the beta program, you realized that just with a few dozen people, how enormous the workload of putting in the intakes, everybody, that is the personal information, the health background, all confidential stuff that you do just with them one-on-one, how much that really was, that you guys essentially realized that if this was the model across the board, that if you didn't do something that was still helpful but more generalized, then you unless you brought on 15 more.
Right. We'd never be able to we'd only ever be able to affect a very small amount of lives, and we wanted to try to do more. So the clinical option is still there with what we do, and you will get a discount on that. But this is just to bring you in to see, but here's the thing. You come to a live, like every Thursday we do them from 6 to 7. So I'm going to be doing the live this Thursday from 6 to 7. If you're on that and there's a handful of people on there and you want to ask a question, you certainly can, and if I can answer it, I will. But remember, a lot of really deep answers requires a ton of background work. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to give you a cookie cutter answer because that doesn't do your case any justice. I'm not going to tell you something just because it makes me sound smart or something. Like, I need to know what's going on with you on a deep level. But that option is there. This giveaway is just to get you guys into the door, and you'll definitely get your value. And hopefully, if you want to stick around, there'll be a lot more there. So definitely reach out, though.
There you go. Okay. Jay Semo says, you guys are the best. Great show. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jay. Yeah. It's great to have you out there. So It's 8:24, and oh my gosh. I'm going to have to delete some things from the title. I don't know what the hell we're going to do.
Let's go through them quick.
All right, okay. I got to get around. So real quick, the Louvre. Did you hear about the Louvre?
I heard about it.
Okay. Well, here is the final tally. This is by way of CNN, so you know it's all factual.
Absolutely. They would never lie to us.
$102 million worth of jewelry
How did this even happen?
I don't know.
Was it like...
The jewelry taken from the Louvre Museum in Paris is estimated to be worth 88 million euros. According to a French prosecutor, as the search continues for the stolen treasures, Paris prosecutor Laure Bacot told French radio station RTL the value of the loot taken in Sunday's daylight robbery has been estimated by the museum's curator. This is some
daylight robbery.
This is some Da Vinci Code shit. The sum is indeed spectacular, but we must remember that this damage is economic. It has nothing parallel or comparable to historical damage caused by this theft. Around 100 investigators are involved in the manhunt to track down the criminals who made off with the artifacts from the French crown jewels dating from the Napoleonic era.
Wow.
So how did it happen? The thieves used a truck-mounted ladder to gain access to the Apollo Gallery, one of the more ornate rooms in the Louvre, through a window. Armed with tools, including an angle grinder and a blowtorch, they targeted two high-security display cases. Paris prosecutors say it took the robbers 4 minutes to break into the gallery, snatch the jewels, and leave.
This is like Mission Impossible kind of stuff.
Dude, this. I mean, come on.
They kind of deserve it.
This is Ocean's 11.
Wow. 4 minutes. That is impressive.
How can you...
I don't know.
How do you even do... How are you afforded the intel to plan something that ends up being a 4-minute heist?
Is that picture of something that was involved here, or is that just a random ad?
Let's see. French police examine angle. Oh, that's the angle grinder that the thieves use.
Wow. That's incredible.
What was stolen? Among the items taken from the Louvre was a diamond and sapphire jewelry set, including a tiara and necklace worn by Queen Marie Emilie, and Queen Hortense. Hortense? I'm
Hortense,
bad.
I think.
Hortense? Good.
Yeah,
Thank you. You just please help me. The diadem, a jeweled headpiece. If I was a girl, I would know.
Yeah, of course.
A jeweled headpiece worn by royalty. Featured 24 Cillian sapphires.
Ceylon.
Fuck you.
You said you wanted my help.
Yes, I do. I do. Keep going. By the way, this is when I text you at 11:30 and I ask you whether or not, hey man, I'm really hungry. You think I can have a Philly cheesesteak right now? That's what I'm usually saying on the other end of the phone. Oh, fuck you.
I know. Of course I know. I know that's why you're asking me.
Yeah,
just say yes. One day he'll say yes.
Just one day.
I'll catch him when he's drunk, which is never, and he'll say yes.
1,083 diamonds that can be detached and worn as brooches, according to the Louvre. Wow. Also stolen was an emerald necklace and earrings set that was a wedding gift from Napoleon to his second wife, Marie Louise of Austria, in March of 1810.
1810.
Containing 32 intricately cut emeralds and 1,138 diamonds. Dude.
Wow.
So again, look.
So they knew exactly, 4 minutes, they knew where it was.
Look at this thing.
Exactly what to take. That's incredible.
So yeah,
now, here's the thing. Are they walking around wearing it? It's like, obviously, how are they going to hawk it? And that's what it's worth, but everyone knows it's missing. How do you fence that?
And of course, the last thing here, which is no doubt true, the attack really is a dagger into the heart of France and French history.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, $100 million is nothing compared to the history that was just lost.
No. Yeah.
And it always brings up something else. I have always been so interested in the idea of a black market art and artifacts black market. Because, like you said, you can't go pawn this off.
Right.
What do you do with this? Where can you bring this where some... James Bond villain will pay you $175 million just to know that he has the tiara.
Right. That's who it has to be.
Like that's the only person I think of Le Chiffre. Like if I stole this thing, the only person I could ever sell it to is like a James Bond villain like Le Chiffre or something like that. That's where it had to be.
Yeah, and here's the thing, the thieves this just happened days ago, right? A few days ago, week ago, the robbery, because they have to, here's the thing, right? You have to wait for the heat to die down. But since this is such a high profile robbery, they may have to wait years in order to even approach. I mean, because I don't even think a Bond villain would want to be, that's probably the hottest thing out there right now, right? So it's just like, I almost feel like the thieves, if I were to get inside their head, and the fact that they did it in 4 minutes, you almost kind of wonder if part of this was just for the thrill of being able to prove they could do it.
Wow. Look at this stuff.
Yeah. I mean.
Wow.
Because you're not going to buy that on Etsy.
No.
So it's fascinating. Fascinating. But
look at the emeralds.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So I don't know, but
well, I have something else for you.
Okay.
From the Louvre, you think that heist was impressive?
Yeah, I did.
Something even bigger happened right here in our backyard.
Bigger?
Okay. I bring you to Rye Playland that was recently plundered of 200 plush animals.
What?
Yes. Take a look at this. Caught on camera, Playland plundered by pack of pirates.
Is there no end to the madness?
200 plushies pillaged, police say. Talk about alliteration.
Wow, yeah, right.
Good alliteration. Yeah, my gosh. Always avoid alliteration. Westchester County Police are asking for the public's help in identifying 3 people who say that they broke into Playland amusement park overnight, vandalized property, made off with hundreds of stuffed animals. According to the department, the trio arrived on the Rye Playland beach in a small boat just before midnight on Tuesday, September 23rd.
Really pirates.
You know what's funny? Jay? When I heard about this, people started, Lauren said, did you hear about Playland? What happened at Playland? And before I had read any of this stuff, she told me what was stolen and how they arrived by boat and all that stuff. I knew that they were white. I knew they were white because of the boat element alone. And of course they are they have to be some Long Island kids or something. I don't know if they're high on whatever, but look at them.
Wow.
Those 3 right there up top, they're definitely walking through the old mill.
Wait. Does the guy on the right not have a shirt on?
The guy on the left doesn't have a shirt on. Over here.
Yeah. On the right of the, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He's shirtless.
Why?
Because they're probably on meth.
How long did it take them? Because I want to just tell you, the Louvre was
4 minutes.
Right. So how long did it take these guys to get plushies? The other guys got like what, $200 million worth of diamonds. How did these guys do?
Once inside, police said that the intruders caused significant damage and theft, including vandalizing an electronic room.
Okay, not professional.
Electrical room.
Not professional.
And ripping out fiber optic cables for the park's phone and internet service.
Okay, kind of professional.
The trio also allegedly stole 200 stuffed animals, carrying them away in garbage bags. In addition to successfully trying to throw a photo booth off the boardwalk.
What was that? Just for fucksies.
Yeah, just do it.
Wow.
Let me see. Detectives have circulated photos of the subjects to law enforcement agencies across the region, but have not yet been able to identify them.
It was definitely the shirtless guy that tried to throw the photo booth off the pier.
Yeah, I know. So that's
didn't say how long it took him, huh?
Just sucks.
So you got one group of skillful burglars who managed to get millions from the Louvre in 4 minutes, and these guys are like, "Yeah, throw this photo booth off the pier."
I know, dude. I know.
Even criminals have class.
Yeah. I know. Okay. So they from the Louvre to Rye Playland.
That's
that's where everybody
quite the connector.
When we went to all those streams that I did from the phone to go see the fireworks going off in the air and all that stuff, that's what we were doing. That's the place we were going.
And now they're down 200 animals.
I know.
It's not going to be the same next year.
Well, hopefully next year it is a full experience at the park. Like 50% of the park was closed this year.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah. Anyway, there's that. All right, let's see. So there you go. Now we did the Louvre heist. We did paid protests. Now I got to do something else.
What do we got?
We got 25 minutes. I got to throw this in your lap. because while you talk about it, I'm going to put all of the names into the name picker.
Okay.
And that is biblical fasting.
All right.
I want to show you this stuff. First of all, let's see. I'm going to put this in. There's some stuff we can do later on. I'll save this other stuff for the Flipside after hours. There's going to be great stuff on after hours. You got to share. You got to come over. All right. So here's the first one. Consciousness Truth. I found 2 videos. Actually, I found more than 2 videos, but I just put 2 aside, where you have people talking about long-term fast they were on that had an incredible eye-opening, spirit-opening experience. Like all of a sudden they realized that they had made some kind of jump into another plane, that they were like with God, that everything just opened up. So I wanted to throw this your way. And I know, I don't try to put you into a situation to talk about things like, I don't know, spirituality or anything like that, though I know you don't deny any of these factors. So I wonder from a biochemical, a physical standpoint, how all this stuff can mesh together, because obviously the body is cleaning itself out, but there's other things that are going on with people around 3 to 7 days in. Take a listen to this first bit of testimony. I thought that was really interesting.
I'm gonna be honest with you, fasting is the cure for everything. When your body don't have nothing to eat, it's gonna eat all your bad cells up because it go into fight or flight. And when it eats your bad cells, your body release hydrogen. And we breathe in oxygen. So I be wondering like, damn, I done went all day without eating and drinking, but I'm still pissing. Like, why am I pissing? We create our own water.
When's the fast? Is it the sun's up to down?
That's what most people do, from sun up to sun down. But I like to do it to where when I break my fast, it's just with liquids. I like that liquid diet.
It's hard. So what's the longest you fast for?
Like no food, just water, liquids.
Yep.
Like 42 days. I did about 3 of them.
42 days?
42 days.
I hate what I'm about to say. I don't even want to say.
I don't hate it. We learn it. This I ain't gonna lie. This
nah, it's kind of deep.
You go there, bro.
Nah, I'm okay. I'm gonna just say this: when you fast, things really. You're not delusional when you fasting. Things really get weird because you're not seeing you seeing beyond the physical realm. You seeing into a spiritual realm. I'm gonna be honest with you, fasting.
Okay, so that seeing beyond. There's another video here, but we'll just stop right here, and I want to hear what you think about this.
Well, I mean, so he's right about a lot of things. First of all, your body does make its own water, so that's definitely true. Metabolic water. That's just a byproduct of cellular metabolism. Obviously all of this is going to be very personal to most people who are going through a fast, but I can tell you for sure, because so the first place that my mind goes, again, without doing any real comprehensive research on exactly what he's talking about, are, from a biochemical perspective, ketones in the brain. And only because I've experienced this personally with you'll hear it often referred to as the light switch that goes on in the mind. For some people, it's more pronounced than others. And I think to some degree that depends on how much time you've spent for most of your life solely using sugar as a fuel source. So when you're using glycolysis, that process, that's the metabolism of sugar for energy. The body's perfectly adept at doing that. However, we're also perfectly adept at utilizing fats, and the byproduct of fatty acid metabolism are ketones, which can cross the blood-brain barrier, so the brain loves to use ketones. And we're born in a ketogenic state. Most people don't realize that. Actually, it's incredibly difficult to force a baby out of ketosis. They almost inevitably go back into ketosis even after they've eaten. It's just the physiology of that stage of life. So so my opinion is that we have lost touch with this really incredibly healing mechanism, which is ketosis. You'll hear like people, so just for the audience, if they're not familiar, when people say the keto diet, what they're actually talking about is a ketogenic diet in a state of ketosis in the human body. So I grabbed a couple things to read you really quick that just explain what happens now that you know that ketones are just a byproduct of fatty acid metabolism. So whether you're fasting or whether you're doing like carbohydrate restriction, that's how your body is going to shift over to that other fuel source. And this is why we think from an anthropological perspective that this is not, you'll see in textbooks a lot that it's a starvation state. And I mean, I guess technically that may be true, but I think it's more in line with how human beings would have just existed in our previous environment, meaning most of the time we've spent on this planet in a place where food was either abundant or scarce. Like I said in other episodes, we now have the ultimate 100% successful hunt every single time, every single day. It's called the supermarket.
A couple times a day.
Right, sometimes. We never fail. That's a hunt that never fails. And in my opinion, that's not in line with our biology any longer, that constant supply of food. And there are a variety of reasons, a lot of places I could go. We could talk about autophagy. We could talk about the gut. All of those things are very interesting when it comes to fasting. But if we want to talk about the brain and what could create that sense of euphoria or that metabolic switch that sort of turns the lights on, I just want to read you from a couple of papers I pulled, just a couple of paragraphs. It's a little science heavy, but it's super cool because I think this may answer the question, like you asked me, Frank, when we were talking offline. You're like, so obviously there's a religious, spiritual, and then a secular component. But I don't think there's any reason to not consider an overlap between all of them. You know, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be the case. So ketones can induce a sense of euphoria by altering brain metabolism and neurotransmission in ways that enhance calmness, clarity, and well-being. This phenomenon is most noted during fasting, carbohydrate restriction, or ketogenic diets when the brain shifts from using glucose to ketones, primarily beta-hydroxybutyrate for fuel. That's the major ketone that gets metabolized. But there's also acetoacetate and acetone. The body doesn't really use acetone very much. You kind of pee that out. But beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate are the two main ketone bodies. It's a highly efficient and stable energy, especially for neurons. So this bypasses glycolysis, which I told you was using sugar as a fuel, and directly feeds the Krebs cycle, which is how energy is produced in the cell. Increases mitochondrial ATP production, so obviously we're talking about mitochondria here. Reduces oxidative stress in the brain. And this steady state of energy availability can lead to mental clarity and focus, contributing to the subjective feeling of cognitive enhancement and mild euphoria. In terms of neurotransmission, ketones can keto metabolism can increase the brain's production of GABA, which is the calming neurotransmitter. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter, which is associated with relaxation and reduced anxiety. As neurons metabolize ketones, they convert more glutamate, which is excitatory, into GABA, leading to a more inhibitory, serene neural environment. And this shift in neurotransmitter balance may also help explain the calm, pleasant sensation often reported during ketosis. A more specific hypothesis proposes that beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is a ketone body, acts similarly to gamma-hydroxybutyrate, which is both a sedative and a known euphorant. Structurally, beta-hydroxybutyrate and gamma-hydroxybutyrate are closely related molecules, and beta-hydroxybutyrate may actually act as a weak, partial agonist of GABA receptors in the brain, modestly enhancing feelings of well-being and tranquility without the narcotic effects. This receptor-level mechanism could explain why some individuals in ketosis experience a mood lift comparable to, but far milder than, that produced by gamma-hydroxybutyrate. And so the last couple of things, you've got a couple of additional mechanisms. You've got enhanced mitochondrial biogenesis, which means new mitochondria are being created, and cellular energy efficiency, promoting improved neuronal performance and reduced fatigue, stabilized blood sugar, and avoidance of glycemic fluctuations, which happens a lot with carbohydrate-based metabolisms. This may prevent mood swings common with glucose metabolism. And then a reduction in stress-related neuroinflammation and oxidative damage, further protecting neuronal function. So in summary, the euphoria linked to ketosis likely arises from a combination of bioenergetic and neurochemical effects. Efficient energy metabolism, increasing GABA activity, and reducing excitatory signals, and partial activation of mood-modulating receptors. These mechanisms collectively generate the sense of calm, energy, focus, and mild euphoria that some individuals report while in a ketogenic state.
See, I think, and of course the overlap with that is how it opens up, how you open up to receive God, the power of God, the Holy Spirit, especially from my point of view, how that accelerates it. Because it's when you think about when I think about the human mind and human intention, I just think about how hard it is sometimes to manifest things and to pray in a very deep zone of concentration where you're in a flow state. It's one thing, you can be getting a flow state anyway. You're in a flow state in the kitchen. Like one thing's leading to the next. You're in the flow state when you're on the drums or behind a piano or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
When you get but there is a flow state for prayer as well, and it's very elusive to me. But when you're in it, you're in it. And I think that this is a huge part about it, being able to prepare the body to open up the mind and have that broadcast and reception aspects of our being to be really fine-tuned to what you're about to commune with. And I just wanted to, I wondered about that too, because especially, these stories in the Bible, fasting is mentioned all throughout the Bible. The importance of it is stressed, but there's no rigid guidelines on frequency and duration. It definitely amplifies prayerful states and perhaps the power of manifesting miracles it as well, because you're more tapped into God's power and authority. Maybe I just don't know.
So I mean, right, and obviously I'm not a theologian. You could ask. This would be an interesting conversation to bring up with like Timothy Alberino or Timothy Gordon. I think that would be a really cool conversation because I don't bring that side of it, but I could certainly enhance the understanding of the human physiology and the biochemical side. But what if? And I've heard it explained this way. What if the brain is like an antenna? In order to receive signals, it needs to be fine-tuned. And if you're thinking about neuroinflammation or any kind of compromise in the natural state, and this is why I said to you, babies are born in ketosis. I truly believe that ketosis is a natural state that we basically change that on our own because we as humans, we're so brilliant. We created a food pyramid and put carbohydrates at the base of it, which means human beings now they're eating, when I talk about metabolism as like the fire, if you were to use kindling, like the newspaper or the small twigs you use to start a fire, that's like carbohydrates. They burn out very quickly and they need to be replenished rapidly. But fat metabolism, which generates ketones, that's like the log, the long burning log, which is why when you're in a state of ketosis, generally you don't experience as much hunger. You can go much longer periods of time without food because there are less blood sugar fluctuations, as I mentioned.
What about any significant studies or anything that had been done to compare ketosis with depression?
And that's right up Jen's wheelhouse, mental health. But there are a ton of studies that show mental health improvements with a ketogenic state. Because again, remember, you're bringing down neural inflammation.
Yeah, dude.
So this is what I mean. So what if that is like the natural state of ketosis? People, it drives me crazy when people call it like just fight or flight or just starvation mode. And I'm like, no. Or they say it's an alternate fuel source. And I say, no, it's an additional fuel source. The body is absolutely and totally physiologically equipped with this. And so if you're talking about God and God created this human body, then the mechanisms are there. Maybe they should be used.
Well, dude.
And maybe that fine tunes that antenna to receive messages. I know when I've been in a state of ketosis, a deep state of ketosis, the things that your mind does and can accomplish, and I've experienced it several times, it is unbelievable. And of course, right away, I test my, because as a scientist, I'm like, I want to know what's going on. And I test, and I've had ketone readings off the charts, but that's like, you're talking 4 days into a fast and it's like, you never want to eat again because you just don't, and obviously you have to, but you don't want to stop because like a workout is like, you can conquer anything. You got a project to do, you'll never have more productivity. And it's almost like, Frank, like being able to flip a switch to get into the flow state. That's how dynamic it is. Like you have to search for it and sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. This is like being in a constant flow state with the switch in the on position. It is incredible. If you've never experienced it, you don't know what I mean, but it is remarkable. And so who's to say that's not a normal part of physiology that we have been sort of ushered out of? I do believe that personally.
To your point, I mean, this is why it always comes up when we discuss things like, I don't know, out of body experiences and things like that. It's always the same things. Like obviously we were created with an incredible amount of almost spooky innate powers But, just like any machine on the face of the earth, if it is not fine-tuned, if it is in some way corrupted, if it has been fueled up with cheap gas and it has
That's
no
a great
oil.
analogy. Yeah, like the finest car on the planet. If you don't put the right fuel in it, it's going to perform terribly.
Like what kind of performance do you think you're going to get out of it? You think you're going to be able to win a race, ascend a mountain, without blowing a gasket? I always reserve that aside for, multiple conversations in this respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially with the depression thing, like it is so hard sometimes. It is so hard sometimes. Like whenever I felt, down in the past, like if I had a couple of days, which is like things just sucked, food always made things worse.
Yeah.
Especially if you get into what people call comfort eating.
Right. I was going to say, the hedonic aspect of food.
Because then all of a sudden you tend to take on a little bit more ice cream, a little bit more this and that.
And that only perpetuates the cycle.
I know, a handful of potato chips, whatever, things get you through. And it's all just basically you're just eating because of, texture, a crunch, something that makes you feel. You think that the experience of eating it is going to make you feel better, but all you're taking on a chemical component that I don't know. But then again, when I'm in those, for example, it has been years before I have ever eaten before I did a work. I've gone to a workout. Like I used to be the type that would at least maybe 45 minutes before a workout, an hour before a workout, I'd have at least a cup of applesauce just to have a light carb, something ready, something that can draw off of and all that stuff. But it's been a couple of years now since I've done anything like that because I feel like I got an anvil in my stomach. So what I do is I have 1.5 liters of salt water the night before a morning workout or something. So I just got things to sweat out and all it. So I don't know. Those are things that I just do personally. But getting back to the whole the biblical thing, whenever you read these Bible stories over the years that you've been around the book, the good book, there's no real rigid guidelines about frequency and duration about fasting, but they talk about it a lot. You get exposed to biblical figures who fast you'll see 3-day fasts popping up, 7-day fasts popping up, 40-day fasts popping up. Things like that happen. And of course, that you hear about a lot today. I hear about people going on 3, 7, and 40-day fasts as well. Of course, there's 20, whatever the hell else. So I just think it's really interesting to hear people having these incredible spiritual experiences, going into this experiment with themselves. You think this one guy over here that we just watched 40 days without food, you'd think that you would die 5 times over. 5 times over you must have died if you didn't go 40 days without any substantial amount of food. But he sounds like he just went through a wormhole to paradise and came back and is bringing some kind of perspective from another dimension that really it sounds like somebody who had a near-death experience and can't really convey it well to those who never left.
Yeah, I think that people definitely don't give the body enough credit for being resilient. Even back in the 60s, before the ethics boards were really a big thing, there were pretty long fasts that were done by Professor Cahill, who actually is really responsible. I think I talked about him on the show one other time, where he's really responsible for teaching us a lot about human physiology and what it's capable of. And not only did he fast people for excessive amounts of, I shouldn't even use the word excessive, for long periods of time. Like I believe he was doing like 60-day fasts. And for anybody who really understands physiology, not only was he fasting people for 60 days, he was injecting them with insulin during the fasts to drop the blood sugar even lower. So he was basically trying to find to what degree the body before death basically requires blood sugar. And he was driving blood sugar levels into the 30s and 40s, where if you talk to any medical professional, they'd be like, well, that person's dead. They're in a coma. But this is what highlights the idea of ketones. They are not only perfectly capable, these people experience no side effects. of having blood sugar levels that low. And I've had a similar experience. My longest fast, I think, was 7 days. It was probably in 2018, maybe. And I remember by the 5th or 6th day, my blood sugar was routinely in the 50s, which again, I asked Jen about this and she's like, well, if you came into my ER, we would have assumed you would have been in a coma. But obviously that's somebody typical who's running on a primarily sugar-based metabolism. They would not normally have ketones. So a blood sugar in the 50s for someone who's not ketogenic, that would be highly problematic. But for someone who is pumping ketones, not a problem. I was going to the gym. Now,
So if you're on the average American diet and it's just very carb heavy, and you go into a 7-day period just from that state where you have water, but that would be a problem if you are really just you're processing carbs more than fat.
It depends.
Okay.
Some people can. Like I've experienced this myself. I've always been naturally, I think, a natural faster because I always felt better working out on an empty stomach and things like that. And it was not hard for me to go long time without food. Even before I ever really knew anything about fasting, I started fasting in 2014. But even prior to that, I just was okay if I had to skip meals or whatever. I never got like hangry or whatever. I just never experienced that. So I think I was always a little bit on that metabolically flexible tip anyway. But if you're incredibly insulin resistant, and that's when I would say you actually want to balance your blood sugar first. So you might want to do something like a low carb ketogenic style diet to get things balanced a little bit more before you would do any kind of aggressive fasting, because that could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like there shouldn't be any, if your blood sugar is plummeting that low, then there's probably something else going on. But again, if you're pumping a lot of ketones, remember your body has to learn how to make ketones, so to speak. The metabolic machinery has to be upregulated, which again, I think has been with us since birth, literally, because I told you babies are in ketosis, but that we lose only based on our environment now, our food environment. There's no reason for us to be in ketosis anymore because food is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I just think it's a state that we should be dipping in and out of. I think that's perfectly natural. I think that's what human beings always did. And it's very interesting that so many positive physiological changes happen in that state. Now, that doesn't mean, and people in the ketogenic community think that you should be in a state of ketosis constantly and that you should be chasing the ketone levels, like the higher the better. I don't believe that's true either. When you eat a meal, especially if it's protein rich, protein can actually knock you temporarily out of ketosis. And that's perfectly natural and normal, a rhythm of nutrient uptake, because you want to rebuild, right? Fasting is the process of breaking down and cellular cleanup, but the magic happens when you fuel the body properly after that, because you need to provide it with the raw materials to rebuild cells and cell membranes, so adequate and quality fats and proteins for the immune cells and everything. So I think there's a give and take there, but I think today we've gone so far in the other direction that ketosis gets turned into some pathological state, which I vehemently disagree with. I just don't think that's true. And I love the fact that it's referenced thousands of years ago in ancient texts. I think that's fantastic, because to me, it only further illustrates the fact that we've just lost touch with it based on our modern lifestyle. Not that it's some kind of pathological state to be feared.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well said, and well wrapped up at 8:57 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
We hit our mark.
We hit our mark. And now, and ladies and gentlemen, we have more to do with you on the other side of the end credits. We're going on to the flip side here. We'll catch you on the flip side. I just first want to say thank you all. We're about to do the drawing over here for the 1 month membership on the wonderful healthreclamationproject.com, the website that Jay has launched, a wonderful new community that's starting there with so many opportunities to expand. And I wish you guys nothing but the best, because the world needs it. But I would also say, please visit quitefrankly.tv/sponsor. There's a QR code right on the screen right there. You take a picture of that, and all of your options of becoming a monthly sponsor are right in front of you. It would be wonderful to have you in tow going into the holidays and into the new year. There are so many things we got to do aside from completing this room and expanding on the video production plan that we have here to actually bring in a whole new, a whole new, I don't know what, maybe the audience times 3. We want to just grow and expand.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of growth. Yeah.
I'm going to see myself look better on camera.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait, man, because I think we did the best we could with these fucking cameras in here, but I'll tell you, when I see all of the highlights being made and I'm looking at how pixelated it is, I'm like, why? Yeah. I just need a professional to come here and do this one thing.
It's great, man.
I'll handle, the Phantom of the Opera flow back here, that's all me.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to do some stuff, and the time for improvising is over.
Yes.
Anyway, so thank you all so much. Let's go and check out who the hell is going to win this. Now, those of you on Pilled, I'll read your super chats on the other end of the end credits, but I have you in there. Vesper, Amethyst Cat, Uncensored Abe, Safety Net, Molly, Rook Castle, Moira, and Big Chief Patriot. Over on Rumble, we have Miss Day Dawn says, I love you, Frank. Brick by brick, ride or die. Another great show. Thank you. Kathy Puravita says, quit drinking. I quit drinking because of you two. I figured I could do better, so I did. Wow.
Oh, that is so cool.
Hugs and kisses for Jay and hugs and kisses for you, Frank.
Nice work.
Kathy, good for you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Next, if we ever meet one day, Kathy, we can have a Topo Chico and lime together.
Ooh.
Because
that's my go-to.
I know. To hell with it. Let's just have a seltzer.
That's what we did on election night, remember? I made our little mocktails.
We had a mocktail
they were
here.
Good.
Okay, Jay Semo says, you guys are the best. Well, thank you, Jay Semo. We did that. Grandma Grateful, Valsky, LDW Mary Jane, and Sarah Blazak, EMJF over there on the Rumble. You are all in it. Steve Ellis just says, love you guys. Keep it up. That's on YouTube. But Jay Winard, my new pants are like Biden's White House. No ballroom. Yeah, that's it. Jay Winard also says, Frank, I have the same badass shirt we talked about. Thank you so much. Stickman. Great show. How did your mom's surgery go?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here to tell you she's fine.
Good.
I told her last night, I said, listen.
She ready to pitch?
She said that before. Now we're over 9:00.
Okay.
She's fine. I'll tell you about that on the other side of the end credits.
Fair enough.
Thank you so much for asking, Stickman. I was going to let everybody know. I'll have her call into the show tomorrow night, maybe, or Thursday, because we just had a guest cancel. I don't know what I'm doing Thursday right now. Stove evening, Frank and Jay. Thanks for the listen tonight. And hello to a couple of partners in the Super Chat crime out there. The one and only Shotzi and our dear friend, Jay Britz.
Awesome.
Eli P says, great show, Frank. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I put you all in the running. All in the running. We have 26 names here.
Wow.
And let's see who has got themselves a month at the healthreclamationproject.com. And the winner is Rockman Drums.
Oh, hey.
This is incredible because it's the first time ever that a winner on Twitch has won.
Oh, cool.
So, Rockman, you got to get in touch with me. Frank at quitefrankly.tv. I need all your information that I can pass along to Jay. You let me know if you even want it.
Right.
Okay, that's number one thing. If it's something that you don't think you're going to enjoy, you want to pay it for you. Everybody always has the right to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
If you pay it forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these names. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to open up an email to myself right now, and I am going to send myself all the names that we had just used in the running. Sent. I have them now. If Rockman chooses to pay it forward, I will redraw first thing tomorrow night from that very same set of names, and that's what we will do. But
and remember, if you don't win, you can still use the code FALL45 to get in at a pretty good discount.
There you go. So the link, healthreclamationproject.com, is in the description of the episode. Use promo code FALL45, and yeah, we will catch you on the flip side, ladies and gentlemen. Be on the lookout in the chat rooms, and we are going to be putting the link in there momentarily. Come on over because it's almost like a third hour coming your way. Don't miss out on it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 7:00.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, everybody. Quite Frankly is film for a live studio audience, and I already told all the wonderful people who supported the show tonight. And you can support the show right now very, very cheaply by liking it, by leaving a comment, and by sharing it. And if you're on YouTube, use that hype button and become a sponsor. You can do that. Anyway, all the best to you guys and gals. I'll see you tomorrow night, or I'll catch you on the flip side.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody.